Hello again. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about systems of equations. We're going to solve some problems using systems of equations. This is lesson 2.3, so let's get started. There are some steps that you need to follow in order to solve these problems. They're not going to give you the equations in terms of x and y, so you need to, this is the hardest part, figure out what your two unknowns are and call them x and y. And make sure you include units because sometimes they switch on you from feet to miles or from kilometers to meters. You have to make sure your variables are expressed in the units that you're going to use. All right, use the sentences that are in the word problem to construct two equations. They have to be equations using x and y. And then we're going to either use graphing, substitution, elimination, or other means like technology to solve the system. That was in the last lesson. So we're going to use those, solve the system, and then we're going to check our solution by substituting into both original equations. And then we are going to state our solution in terms of the wording in the question. The question didn't have x's and y's, so we shouldn't really state our solution in terms of x and y. We should use the language that was in the original question. All right, so here's an example. There are two numbers that add up to 20. The larger number is twice as big as the smaller number. And what are the two numbers? So we're going to let x be the smaller number and y be the larger number. There are no units, so I really don't have to worry about units this time. And so I know that the two numbers add up to 20, so I'll just say that x plus y equals 20. I also know that the larger number, which I called y, is twice as big as the smaller number, which I called x. So I'm going to say that y equals 2x. And there's my system. I have two equations with two variables, and so I'm ready to solve. All right. So there's my first equation, if you remember. There's my second. And so what I do is I use substitution because one of my equations is in y equals form. So if y equals 2x, then I can go to the first equation and replace every y with 2x because they're equal to each other and can be substituted out for each other. So instead of x plus y equals 20, I have x plus 2x equals 20. That means that 3x equals 20. So x equals 20 over 3. Now I need to figure out what y is equal to. Y is equal to 2 times 20 over 3. That's based on the second equation where y equals 2x, or I knew that the larger number was twice as big as the smaller number. I now know that the smaller number is 20 over 3. So the larger number is going to be twice as big as that, which is going to be 40 over 3. So using the language of the original question, I say that the numbers are 20 over 3 and 40 over 3. And again, I don't use units because there were no units in the question. So that is an example of problem solving using systems of equations. If you have questions, let me know, and I will see you tomorrow.